Hey everyone, Louis V here from Vinyl Latte, and today I have some exciting news to share with you, but this video is made for the fans, the community of Vinyl Latte fans and subscribers that really tune in and watch multiple videos. So if you stumbled across this and you were looking for videos about vinyl records or turntables or what have you, if you're looking for something different, check out this video up here, and then maybe when you become a fan and you subscribe, you'll circle back and appreciate this video. For those that have stuck with me so far, I just want to take a moment and thank you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Since I created this channel, it's been an amazing journey. I've made so many amazing friends inside of the vinyl community. There's been so many people who have taken the time to interact, comment, subscribe, etc. And what I'm really pumped up about is that recently we are celebrating what I feel is a milestone, a complete milestone for the channel, and that is that we have now surpassed the 2,000 subscriber mark. I just take a moment to applaud you at home, the ones who have made that happen, because it doesn't happen without you. It doesn't happen without the folks that look forward to these videos, watch them, even my bad videos, right? And Lord knows I'm still learning and there's plenty of not so great content, but you at home continue to watch and interact and provide feedback. So thank you. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for those who have subscribed, who have hit the like button on videos, who have hit the notify bit on the videos so you can get notified when new videos come out. And thank you for those that have actually taken the time to interact, to leave comments, to communicate. All of those things are just really important when you're building a YouTube channel. What most folks don't know, unless you've tried to start a channel before, is that the reason why you have so many creators ask you to do those things like subscribe, comment, etc., is because when you're building a channel, YouTube only sends your video out to a really small group of folks, like a really focused group, and they evaluate how the channel and the video performs. And if people interact and they like it and they subscribe and they share it with their friends, then the next video you release, they share it with a little bit more folks, and then continues to grow upon so long as the interaction seems to be there. So it's not like these videos that we produce go out to every single person in the vinyl community or every single person who likes vinyl records. It's only going out to a very small percentage. So that means there's folks like you that really enjoy listening and interacting about vinyl records that don't even know this channel exists, and the only way they're ever going to get it on their home screen or as a recommended video is by interaction, is by folks like yourself interacting with the video, leaving a comment, liking, subscribing, sharing it with friends. That's what boosts the views. That's what boosts the channel's reach. So for all of those who have contributed towards that, it just, again, I know I've said it a million times, I'm kind of a broken record, which is a 4-letter word when you're a vinyl collector, but just thank you. With that being said, this is what I'm hoping to be a first of many monthly videos. I'm thinking about doing this type of video on the first Monday of every month. And I want this video to be more of an intimate, right? A lot of my videos, we talk about records, my latest acquisitions, or we talk about reviews of certain pressings, or we have conversations around hardware. What I don't spend enough time with is getting up and personal with you. And I feel like I want to do that. I want to build a community of folks that are into vinyl record collecting that we can share, whether it's like-minded or maybe even a little bit dissimilar-minded. But I want to be able to share what is going on, not only with me, but also to learn what's going on with you. So I'm hoping that by releasing these types of videos that I feel are more catered towards the fans of the channel, that it will allow us to interact with each other. It will allow us to have communication and dialogue, etc. And what I'm really hoping for is that the feedback that you provide not only provides us insight so we can get closer and bond, but also provides a little bit of direction of where we want the channel to go. So as I turn the corner of 2,000 subscribers, I've been really trying to think about what's next? What can we do to keep the same momentum moving forward for the next 3 to 4 months? I'm only thinking about a quarter basically ahead at this point. What can we be doing? And I really want to look at expanding. I think expansion is the right choice. And what I mean by expansion is not adding more videos. I'm not looking to make this a huge labor investment because just honestly, the time that it takes to record, edit, publish, produce, and interact with comments is just less time I have to actually listen to records. And what I don't want to do is be one of those YouTubers that all they do is talk about records but actually don't enjoy them, don't listen to them. That's not what this is about. This is a vinyl record lover who wants to share their experience with records with other vinyl record lovers, right? So this is an enthusiast channel with a heart and soul and a desire to involve yourself or surround yourself with records. So I want to keep that. I don't want to get so far away that I only listen to a record or two a week, because that just wouldn't be fun for me. It would become a job and it wouldn't be a fun interaction. So what I'm thinking about doing is still trying to keep that same schedule and actually going back to the schedule I used to have, about 3 videos or so a week, but changing them up. Maybe on Sundays doing the haul for the week and doing a long video, even if it's more than 20-30 minutes long. But here's all the records that have been collected for the week. And then perhaps on Mondays, maybe doing something a little bit different. Maybe a review, maybe doing something that is on a line of having a webinar, like I did with VSS, the Guru, as we will call him here on this channel. Maybe doing something like that, and just kind of expanding out, just doing a little bit more how-to videos, more vinyl chat videos, things of that nature. So mixing it up from what I would say right now, the channel is primarily 90% just hauls. It's the hauls that I'm picking up. I buy a lot of big records, a lot of, 30, 40 records at a time, and I share those with you. And that's really the basis of this channel so far. But there's so much more I want to do. I would say a student of hardware, of audiophile equipment. I call my friends, when I'm talking to my friends, I say I'm like the everyday man's audiophile. And they say, what do you mean by that? And I'm like, well, my equipment is worth a lot and I'm really into, and I do a lot of reading and research and I have a lot of conversations around it, but I haven't spent enough money where I could have bought a house or anything like that. And just quite frankly, I don't know if I'll ever be at that situation where I'm dropping $30,000-$40,000 on a cable and then sharing with you if I hear anything. I mean, I would love to be in that situation just because that means I'm blessed to be surrounded with that much disposable income that I could share that with you. But right now, this channel, there's no sponsors here. Everything that you see on this channel is bought and paid for by me. Unless, of course, it was, reviewed in a webinar fashion where somebody else is talking about equipment. But things that you see in this room, they're not sponsored. So when I tell you something's good, I'm telling you from the really deep heart of my soul that I think it's good, and I'm trying to share that with you. When I think something sucks, I'm telling you it sucks because, quite frankly, I think it sucks. And I don't think it's worth the money. So I just want to have that transparency with you and look at ways that we can continue to grow more together. With that said, I got some new ideas that I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about featuring some folks in the community. That means you, maybe on a monthly video where somebody in the community, we get together and we do an episode together. We record something together. I don't know if it'll be what's the top picks of the month, or maybe, if you're specialized in a certain collection and we want to go deep into it and have a dialogue about it, maybe that's an option. But I really want to build and foster a community where we can, kind of grow and support each other. And I think it'll be really fun to find some people, to join and have conversations with. There's folks that watch this channel from all over the world. I look at the feedback, and quite frankly, a majority of my audience, the #1 viewers out there are from Germany. So if you're watching this right now from Germany, thank you. I'm always actually really surprised at because I'm based in the US and I really thought that US would be my largest audience, but it's actually second. Now it's not far behind Germany, but it is second, and I just thought that was just wild to me. That was a wild statistic for me to see that my home country is second most views. The majority of my views come from Germany. There's other countries on there as well that are just as equally competitive or taking up as much of the lion's share. And I just really had a moment where I thought it would be cool to start featuring people from all over the world, their collections, maybe their listening space, maybe what their coolest acquisitions of the month are. So this is something I've been thinking about. I'd love to get your thoughts on that. This is part of this video, is for you to help me shape what you want to see. What would you click on? What would you watch? What would you take a look at? So if that's something you think that you would be interested in, share it with me. Drop it in there. Say, yeah, I would love to maybe be featured on your channel, or I think that's a great idea. I would love to get that feedback. The other thing that we've been thinking about doing here, and I say we because I've had this conversation with the Guru, is to have more Guru-based conversations. There's a lot of things that we haven't touched on. We had one conversation, which quite frankly was a 2.5-hour conversation that I edited down to about an hour. So I've actually reduced more than 50% of that video just so it could be consumable. And I know it wasn't really high viewed. It's actually one of the lower viewed videos on my channel, but it's very specific audience and it's a long video. But one of the things that the Guru and I talked about doing is maybe doing more of these, maybe even doing them a little bit in a shorter fashion so they're a little bit more digestible, and then perhaps even teaming up and doing some joint interviews with folks inside of a very particular vinyl community. I don't want to release too much details because I want to kind of keep it a surprise, especially if it comes to reality. But that's something we're thinking about doing, and I would probably do that like once a month as well. So I'm thinking about kind of changing things up to have a little bit a variety for you to listen to, other than you watching me go on for 30 to 40 minutes about, look what I bought, this is a new thing, this is this pressing. I want to give you something more entertaining than that. I still love doing those videos. I'm not going to stop doing them. And I think having a Guru being featured more, I think would be really cool because it aligns to my goals of including the community. And Guru is a very amazing supporter of the channel. And having him on the channel more often, having him more of a regular face of Vinyl Latte, I think will be really great. I think he provides so much knowledge and perspective in, beginner and starter equipment, even though at the heart and soul of it, he's not you look at his gear, he doesn't have a whole bunch of beginner's equipment. He's definitely more on the audiophile side, but he spent a lifetime around that type of equipment doing servicing of hardware and really knows the ins and outs of not just what sounds good, but what can break over time, what has faults over time, what do customers tend to say, hey, I have issues with. So he comes with a wealth of knowledge that I think is just simply untapped in this community. Now, where my major interests lie is a little bit different. I totally love supporting the beginners and the starters in this hobby because that's what we need to continue growing and flourishing. That's what we need to keep this vinyl revival going. And as much as old-timers complain that the vinyl revival has killed the prices of pre-owned records that were $7 and now $50, $60, $100+ The benefit of that is everybody who's had a collection, it's now worth a heck of a lot more today than it was before the revival. The other side of that is we're seeing pressings of amazing albums come back out that just maybe would have never been repressed if it wasn't for the revival. So no longer do you need to hunt for a 50 or 60-year-old copy to get an OG of your favorite jazz record. You just need to hang in there a little bit because it's likely that Blue Note, Prestige, or OJC or somebody is going to go ahead and reissue it. And it's not just jazz, of course. You're seeing that being done in hip-hop. You saw a lot of hip-hop records get reissued for the 50 years of hip-hop celebration. You're seeing more and more rock albums get done. You're just seeing more things that maybe just never had a vinyl pressing before coming out during anniversaries, 25-year anniversary, 30-year anniversary, 40-year anniversary, and so on. So it's really exciting times, I think, to be a record collector. Yeah, the cost kind of, sucks, but quite frankly,
everything is expensive. Hell, I'm expensive.
Everything's expensive. And records are obviously they're no different. So where do we go from here? It is that I would love to do more of that audiophile stuff. Now, again, I'm not talking about things that you and I can't afford. I'm talking about featuring hardware and equipment that the everyday man could afford, even if it takes a little while to save. I'll give you an example. I have a lot of cool gear. I have a Riga P10. I have a Hana Umami Blue cartridge. I have a Macintosh MA252 amp. And a lot of those hardwares that I just mentioned are things that people are aspiring to purchase. There's a lot of people that maybe have a P3, a P6, would love to have a P10. There's a lot of folks out there that their dream amp is the amp that I have. I've seen that in the comments. That's why I'm saying that. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just echoing what I've seen in the comments. And what I could do, I think would be a service to those who are following along on this channel, is give you my review. I'm not going to compare the Macintosh, amp with 50 other amps and tell you it's the best sounding, this, that, because I don't know. I don't have the other equipment to compare it to. But I would do is tell you my thoughts about it. I can tell you what I like about it. I can tell you what I don't like about it. And I can tell you that if I'm looking to upgrade, what would I look to upgrade to? And why I would look to upgrade, and perhaps when. Maybe there's a trigger on when I would decide to go a new route, right? So I think I could share some of those things with you that hopefully will help make you have some buyer's, decision. The other thing I've been thinking about is there's a couple hi-fi stores, one in particular that I tend to have a good relationship with. And what I like to maybe do is kind of approach them and see about what we can do to do like a collaboration, especially when it comes to analog, to help get some of the newer things on analog, at least, sneak peeks or previews or etc. on the channel. I'm not really sure if I'm there yet. I think I need to grow and mature to that space and have a deeper following to get there. But it's something I feel is like an horizon, maybe by the end of the year or early next year, something to achieve for. Perhaps when we hit the 5,000 subscriber mark, is to be more aggressive of trying to find somebody like that to partner and collaborate with. So anyway, like I said, I have a lot of ideas on horizon about the channel. Maybe there's things that I haven't thought about. I'd love to get your thoughts on that, because that really does mean a lot. There's a lot of times where what you put in the comments, I take really serious. I take the feedback serious. I also take the recommendations serious. There's a lot of albums that people would recommend for me, and I've actually added them straight to my want list. I didn't even listen to them. I just figured if somebody's recommended for me to check out an album, I'm going to put it in my want list. And one of the things I would really like to start to do is do a video on all the albums that people recommend for me that I purchase and that I listen to, and then maybe actually call out the folks that recommended them, right? So if that's you and your name is Enterprise01, I don't know, because I see I see Enterprise here on the corner here, but if your name is Enterprise01, I can call out and say, hey, Enterprise01 from Germany or from the United States or wherever you're hailing from recommended this album to me. I listened to it. Here's my thoughts about it. So I'm thinking, just again, more ways to interact. All right, so this video is not just about me rambling about the future. I do want to take this also as an opportunity to connect deeper with you about what is going on in my life. I think this is an opportunity for me, if I continue to do these videos, which I'm really strongly leaning towards, again, once a month, maybe the first Monday. One of the things I think would be good to do is just to be more open with you in the community. What's going on in the world of Louis V? What am I working on? What's life like here? What are some of the things that I'm doing? And I want to take that opportunity now in July to kind of share that with you. So the first thing is in June, my wife and I, we took a 3-week trip across Florida, and golly, we had a blast, by the way. We went to the beach. We hit several different towns and cities. We hit some of the most gorgeous beaches I've ever seen in my life, and I've had the opportunity to travel to a lot of places in the Caribbean and Europe, etc. But just some gorgeous beaches, at least I would say arguably some of the best beaches in the United States. I think there are some beaches that I've visited, especially in the Caribbean, that rival. But from a U.S. standpoint, definitely some gorgeous beaches. And what I did is I took that also as an opportunity that every time we went to a new town or new city, I hit a record store. So I kind of did this record store tour across Florida, and boy, did I end up with a lot of records. I have an IKEA bag full of records, which I learned through that trip that IKEA bag is actually really handy when you have a bunch of records you're trying to move around from hotel to hotel around. And it was quite, comedic because I couldn't leave records in the car. And of course, I don't have a house, right? We're kind of traveling through Florida and we have, a hotel. So a lot of times, we'll go to a record store and then we'll go grab something to eat and maybe we'll go do something else and eventually end up at the hotel. So I'm carrying around these records with me all day, every day. And my wife is like, why don't you just leave them in the car? And I'm like, no, because it'll melt. It's Florida. The heat's hot here. So it was quite fun to kind of go through that journey. But I want to have a video. I want to talk about some of those record stores. I want to give you my shakes on which ones I liked and maybe which ones that didn't really speak to me, but also show with you some of my finds, the things that I was able to grab on that. So I think that's going to be a future video coming up. The second thing is while I was gone, I actually got a stack of records delivered. You got to remember, I was gone for almost a month. So I don't want to say this is a normal shipment, but man, I felt like a lot of pre-orders, things that I ordered months and months and months ago came in all at once. And of course they come in when you're on vacation. That is the time where the things that you're waiting for end up showing up at your doorstep is when you're not home. At least that's how it is for me. So anyway, I got a whole bunch of records there too. It spent a good amount of time unpacking those, and I want to put together a video about that as well. So I think you're going to see a whole bunch of record reviews, or at least haul sharing with you forthcoming soon. And there's some really interesting things in there. I did get the ERC, Kenny Burrell issue here. This is from the Electric Recording Company. It's their very premium label. I was able to actually spin this and give it a listen, so I'm excited to share with you some of my thoughts. I also recorded the unboxing, so if you never received an ERC record before and you kind of want to see what that unboxing experience looks like, I did capture that, so that's going to be on a future video. I did get some box sets I think is pretty cool. One of them from VMP is the Diary of Alicia Keys. This is a numbered edition. This is number 532 out of 1,000. I'm excited to unpack this. I know that there's apparently one of these box sets actually has a handwritten note from Alicia Keys. I haven't seen that found yet on the Vinyl Me Please community on their Discord yet. I'm not saying I have it, but I think it would be so cool if it is included here. But anyway, I want to get this open. It's still sealed. I want to get this open. I want to get it on the turntable and listen to it and give you my thoughts and opinions about it. I also picked up the Rolling Stones mono box set, which is actually sitting on the back wall, that I want to also take an opportunity to kind of go through and give you my thoughts. There's the Memphis Rap box set from Vinyl Me Please that I recorded the unboxing on that. That was a pre-order for me. I got it when it released. I listened to, I think, all but 2 albums, and I've been just stalled on listening to the last 2 albums, and it's the only reason I haven't released my video/review of that box set yet, is just because I have to get through the last 2 albums, and the priority hasn't been there because I keep getting in new stuff, and I need to pause and I need to back listen to some things. I also got this box here, Fragile. This is the Blondie box set here. It has basically all their studio records. I haven't even unboxed this either yet. This is something I wanted to record the unboxing for you so you can see what's included and then give you kind of my thoughts. So I'm hoping that over the next week or 2 I can get this unboxed and recorded for you. The biggest challenge I've had, though, quite frankly, I'm going to shift to hardware real quick. So one of the things too is I've been without a turntable for a month. So I haven't really had an opportunity to listen to records. I just got my turntable back online recently over the weekend here, the 4th of July weekend. And so I'm kind of like, I spent the weekend listening to records, trying to get caught up, trying to put some material together. But if you're wondering why, I haven't been releasing as many videos in June is because of two things. One, my turntable's been out of commission. And two, I was traveling through Florida for most of the month, and I just wasn't home. The videos that you actually saw come out in June, they were pre-recorded. I did a huge recording session the day before I left and recorded all those videos in basically one day. So I apologize if they weren't the most polished videos, but it was a lot of content to pump out in a short period of time. The reason I haven't had a turntable is because my Hana Umami cartridge, which I bought around November or so of last year, was finally broken in enough where I wanted to get it analyzed. And Wally Tools, or WHAM Engineering, they have a service where they will inspect your cartridge. The other thing that they do, besides the cartridge analysis, is that they will give you a complete report and a printout of everything that they see about your cartridge. They'll also look at the SRA, the azimuth, and everything else. And what I did is I actually got a custom shim made because the Riga has limitations on what you can actually do for the turntable from the tone arm standpoint. There's a lot of things you just can't adjust from the tone arm. So I actually got that in. I got it hooked up to the table, and I've been listening to that basically all weekend. And I want to kind of do two things here. I recorded the process that I use to set up and configure my turntable. I also want to do a review on the actual cartridge analysis itself. This service is not inexpensive, at least for most, it's not inexpensive. And the big question is it really worth it? Is it worth getting your cartridge, inspected, analyzed, getting the results, and then getting the recommendations on how you should set it up? Is that really worth the emission price? And that's what I want to share with you. But I definitely need another week or two to listen, to analyze, to play records that I'm familiar with, and to get some really good thoughts. So I don't want to share anything just yet because I want to, share them with you once I actually feel like I have confidence in the results of what happened since I have signed up for that service. So lots of cool things there. I feel lots of different types of videos that are coming out. And that's really it for the most part. I mean, outside of that, I did say I wanted to be a little bit more personal with you. I did share that my wife and I, we've been touring Florida. One of the reasons we've been touring Florida is because we're looking to move, hopefully within the next year. Probably not realistically, it's probably going to be 2 years until we're able to move. And that's just because we're waiting for the market to be right, because the house we want to buy, we want to be in a long term. And the house that we end up purchasing is a house that, quite frankly, we're trying to find something that's going to meet all of our needs. My wife is a crafter, so she wants a craft room. I'm a car guy by day, so I have a couple vehicles, so I need a multi-car garage. I want a little bit of property, and I want a listening room. I want something, I'm actually calling it a media room because I would love to tie it into like a home theater kind of situation where maybe a retractable screen where I can do some really high def projection, roll up the screen, and then have, just the analog experience. I have a vision in my head. I haven't figured out how to articulate it yet, but I'm just looking for the perfect room to build that in. Just a really hi-fi, cool room to be able to enjoy music or movies in is something I'm looking for in a house. So hopefully we're able to find something. Who knows? Maybe 4 years from now, you're going to still see me in the same house. I don't know. I don't know what's in store for us, but if we're continue to be blessed, hopefully this might be the last year we're here, or no more than 1 more year. The other thing is that I've also been going through some grieving. I've my pet for 18 and a half years. It's a kitten or cat. It's not a kitten anymore. 18 and a half years. It's definitely a senior cat. So he was actually born in my house. I rescued the mother, and the mother was pregnant, and she had kittens in the house, and I kept 2 because at the time I was in an apartment and we could only have 3 cats. So I kept 2, and I had the mother, and I found good homes for the other kittens. But he was my buddy for 18 and a half years. He was a cat that, quite frankly, was there by my side since the day he was born. You know, when he was a really small kitten, I used to wear shirts, you know, like dress shirts or whatever that had the little pocket, and he would sit in a pocket with the little two paws hanging out and just spend the whole day with me. I'd be on a computer working or whatever, and he would be there right by my side. As I got older, and he's got older, I should say, he became more of a lap cat and always by my feet. And then in his more senior years, he just kind of always nested next to me. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to lose a pet. They become part of the family, especially when you have something for nearly 20 years in your life. So we've been going through that a little bit as well. It's been challenging, but I got to say that's the blessing of having a hobby like this of music, because it gives you an opportunity to escape. There's something that happens, you know, spiritually for me, and I'm not trying to get all too like hippie with this, but when I put on a record and I turn down the lights and I just focus on the music, my whole brain escapes. The troubles of the days, the worries of the days, the things that are going on in life just evacuate my brain. It's like a form of meditation, and I'm able just to focus on the music and to completely get lost in whatever the artist is, you know, the experience that the artist is presenting. And that's something, quite frankly, I don't get out of digital. I know some people do. I'm not knocking that. If you can get that experience from digital, good for you. It just never happens for me on digital. There's definitely a spiritual experience that happens for me when I listen to records. So that's just my take on that. I wanted to share that with you because I think being more honest and more upfront and more clear on what's going on in the daily life of Louis V here at Vinyl Latte will is you know, we build that trust, and I'm looking forward for you to kind of share those things with me. I'm looking forward for you to share what's going on in your life and maybe some of the records that you're collecting, or what's going on with your turntable setup. Are you trying experimenting new things? Are you trying new configurations, new setup tools? I just, you know, communicate. I think that's what we're here for, is to connect with somebody beyond just the realm of who we socialize in real life on a daily basis. That's the whole reason I created this channel. You know, the whole reason I created this channel is not to come here and show off videos of records, even though some of the comments say that. It's not the point and purpose. There's no reason for me to do that. I've been buying records in bulk for a long time and don't care if people know or not. The reason I share them with you is because I know there's more folks out there in the community that are like me, that get excited to see big hauls that collect a variety of music and want to be engaged. The reason for YouTube is just, quite frankly, is why not? You know, I actually have a different YouTube channel. I film automobiles. It's more of a documentary style, where I find folks that have interesting vehicles and have kind of a story behind the vehicle. So it's not just about a video about a car and here's this, you know, the spec, speeds, and performance, but it's the story behind the car. You know, why did that person invest sometimes $100,000+ in an automobile? What was the point? What was the purpose? What was the outcome of that? So I try to get that. The channel's called Real Rides. It's got over 6,000 subscribers. I got over 2,000 followers on Instagram on that. And I haven't done a video there in 18 months. And I haven't done a video there in 18 months because, quite frankly, it's a lot of work. I mean, 1 minute of published video is about 4 hours worth of work. And what I'm counting there is to going out the film, to record, to do the interview, to create the B-roll, to do the music selection, to craft the video together in the editing software, to then get everything written and published. When I was documenting my time, on average, it was about that. It was 4 hours of human investment for 1 minute of viewable video. And that just isn't sustainable. It's not scalable. It's a lot of work, and it became a job to me. And when I thought about doing this channel, I wanted something that I could just share in a moment. I can just share with you in a moment, hey, I just got this, you know, Black Moses album and I want to talk about it. And that's it. So this is why this channel is a lot more, I would say, low key. It's not as professional as Real Rides. I've had that being asked by some of my close friends that are subscribers of both, of, are you ever going to bring the Real Rides approach? And, oh, I think it would be awesome for you to do all these interviews of music folks and stuff like that. I don't think so. I think that I already have that format in the sense of Real Rides. I think Vinyl Latte is really going to try to keep it low key. And I think when we keep it low key, we can get better interaction with the community. I think it's more real and raw this way. I'm not saying those interviews aren't real and raw, but I'm saying for me personally, the one thing that Real Rides always lacked was my view. I was interviewing folks and telling their story, but I was missing from the videos. When you watch the later videos, when I did go from a vlog to an actual documentary, which is the bulk of the videos, I'm not in any of them. I'm behind the camera, I'm behind the interview, I'm behind the editing, I'm behind the publishing of it, but I'm not in it. And I wanted something that I could share my thoughts and opinions on and to communicate with y'all at home. So I don't even know why I brought that up. I just wanted to share that with you because there's been some questions of like, hey, you're just doing this video to brag about the stuff that you buy. I'm not doing that at all. You might look at some of the video titles and be like, well, if you're not, then why are you releasing videos saying, hey, I spent $1,700 on Record Store Day? Well, because that's YouTube. YouTube, the only way when you're building a channel, like we go back to the beginning, the only way they're going to publish your video is if people click and interact. And when you create a catchy title like that, and it wasn't clickbait, I did spend $1,700 on records, I didn't lie. But when you create a title like that that can capture an audience and get people to click, that's what they're looking for. And I was able to back it up. So it wasn't clickbait. I didn't do it for clickbait. I did it for reality. But that's the reason why those things are there. That's why the Kef speakers video says, $1,500, are these worth it for vinyl? If I just said, hey, my thoughts on the Kef, reference 3 meta speakers, nobody would care. Nobody would click. I would create a video for what? So yeah, I tried to figure out ways to get the videos out there. But hopefully as the channel grows and it matures and it has enough weight behind it where the videos is going to get spread no matter what, then I don't need to focus on those things. But I think if you look at any YouTuber, they have those things. 10 must find holy grails with big eyes coming out of their head, or you won't believe what I found. Like all of those videos are set up to get you to click. And it's the reason they do that is because that's what YouTube wants you to do. They want you to create videos like that. So apologies if I offended anybody. It's never my intent. I think there's a few people thought I was trying to rub in, my financial blessings or something of that nature. That wasn't ever my intent. My intent is just to create good content for you, to talk about records, to build a community, and to be, honestly, and this might sound corny, but a man of the community. I'm not looking for anything more than just to be an active member of the community, and this is a way that I can feel like I can interact. I cannot keep up with chat channels and Reddits and Discords and Facebook groups. I work too much to understand what's going on. I log in and it's like, you have 500 missed messages. I'm not going back to read everything that I missed. So anyway, I just wanted to wrap this up with saying, I think there's some exciting things coming out for Vinyl Latte. I think that, we have a lot of cool things that we can do together. I'm hoping to do together, and the only way we're going to do them together is by you interacting with Vinyl Latte, by commenting, by sharing these videos with your mates, and hopefully participating, reaching out and saying, hey, I want to be featured on an episode. I got a great idea. And then, let's have some dialogue. Let's chat. Let's try to put something together because I think that would be a lot of fun. I would really love for Vinyl Latte to be more than just me rambling on to you about what I think on records. I embrace other people's thoughts. I embrace other people's taste and preference. And I think it's good to sometimes share those things on the same platform that I'm on. So I'm not looking to be what I would call a YouTube dictator where it's only my opinion and my opinion is the only opinion that matters. That's not what I'm about. I can have my own preference. You can have your own preference, and we can always agree to disagree. But I would love to share, thoughts and ideas. I might think this record was the best record I listened to all year, and you might say, no, that's a horrible record. I think the OG is a lot better, and you're crazy for even showing that on your channel. So let's have dialogue. Let's interact. And let me just wrap up one more time by saying thank you again. Thank you for allowing this channel to be successful. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being a fan. Thank you for being in support. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be creating this video today. I wouldn't be in the situation we're in today with a growing community. I wouldn't be challenged with what do I want to continue to do to make this channel beneficial for you. So thank you for giving me new challenges, new things to think about, and I hope that we can grow together. Until next time, I hope that your coffee is always warm. I hope that your records don't skip, and I'm going to see you on the next video.